Are you satisfied with your life? Do you truly feel content with it? You can only be satisfied with your life when you understand reality. If you don't, it doesn't matter what you do. There will always be problems. Even right now, as I listen to your thoughts, it's just chatter, reflections. Reflections always dwell on the past or the future and never on the present. If you focus on the present, there won't be time for the past or future, and you won't have any problems. You can only have problems if you focus on the past or future. So, I receive a lot of phone calls, and one of the questions usually asked is, why did God make the world as it is? If the world is not real, why do I feel it so strongly that I can't get rid of the sensation that my body is real? The person who asked me this question was right because most people feel this way. It's good to talk about absolute reality, talk about absolute unity, talk about emptiness in nirvana, but that doesn't solve the problem. What will really solve the problem? You must discard the world in yourself. I mean really discard it, not leave your job or become a hermit. I mean staying at your job, staying in your marriage, remaining as you are, but discarding the world within yourself. Surrender your life to God, but in reality, there is no God. I am an angry person. Why is that? Maybe it is from childhood, maybe it is scar from a past life. Is that important? The idea is not to get angry at all, but then the noise will come back up and say, you're angry because of this. Last week, you were fired from your job where you worked for 12 years. Now, you have no money, no job, and no reason for being fired. Therefore, you are angry. But then your wisdom should come in and say, nothing happens for no reason. Everything is predetermined. If my firing is predetermined, then why should I be angry? When you have this mindset, you immediately transcend that state of consciousness and take a step forward. You will never be angry again once you understand the principle of anger. The principle of anger is simply that it is predetermined. It was programmed even before you came into your body. Everything was predetermined, even anger, even the fact that you were fired from your job. Once you realize this, your mind becomes weak. You begin to destroy the mind and think through every situation. You begin to understand where it came from. Say you feel aggressive. You can ask, to whom is this aggression coming to? And of course, the answer will be to me. Then hold on to me. I am just a thought. This is not reality. Hold on to me for as long as you can, and eventually I will dissolve into nothingness. And everything else that is a part of me is just a thought. And it's just a thought, it's not real. If you can't do that, then just witness your aggressiveness. Watch how you become hostile and your mind starts telling you why you feel that way. You say, my partner cheated me out of $10 million, now I'm broke. I have a good reason to be aggressive. No, you don't. Something tells you that this was predetermined. Or you can say, last week, I crashed into someone else's car. I forgot to get insurance. The car was new, and it's now on the other driver, but I have to pay $10,000 for a new car. There are no coincidences. We must understand that there are no coincidences. Nothing happens by chance, everything is predetermined, everything is fixed. This alone should make you feel good because you understand that the person who hurt me or the person I hurt, that was predetermined too. This stops your anger and stops the aggression that happens as soon as you make peace with it. Your mind becomes weaker. Every time you do this, you weaken your mind. Your mind becomes so weak that you can practice the most advanced explorations and your mind will not interfere, but before that happens, You must face each situation in yourself. You must admit it. You must confess. I constantly shout at people, I always draw diagrams and plan. I always think that something somewhere is wrong. I suspect people of their motives. Be honest about this. This is the first step, and then you understand who is suspicious. Who doubts, to whom these feelings come. Who has these feelings about what I'm talking about, or the source of me, where it came from. Who caused it? Does it exist? If it exists, where does it exist? While you think about this, I will delve deeper and deeper into your heart. And everything else will go away with it. Never forget that everything in this world is attached to me, including your body, your mind, your belief that you are an actor, and all your feelings. All your senses, all of this is attached to me. Therefore, you don't need to get rid of the feelings themselves, get rid of me, and all the feelings will go away with me. After that, you can move on to the next stage, when the mind has weakened and it feels like your mind is already a little under control, then you can declare, I am the absolute reality. When you make such a statement at a time when your mind has weakened, remember that first your mind must weaken, then absolute reality will automatically come to you to replace your thoughts. You will come to understand that you are like a movie screen and everything else in the world is an image projected onto the screen. All of this will come to you on its own. Can you see the difference? Do you know what I'm talking about? Most of you walk around and proclaim that you are the absolute consciousness, you are emptiness, you are nothing, you are this and that. But when we descend into the world, the first problem we encounter is that we become angry. Therefore, in reality, we are not that at all, and those are just empty words. But if you first slow down your mind, then the affirmation of truth will come to you automatically, then you make your admission, I am not the body, I am not the actor, I am not the mind. I am not any circumstance, I am unconditional pure consciousness, I am the absolute reality, I am the ultimate unity, I am that, I am. You do not make this admission, your true self makes it. You don't do anything, you've cleared yourself from the path. I'm trying to clarify that you shouldn't let your ego make you think that you are something you are not. Your mind is very powerful, it will constantly trick you, so always be careful and observe it. Remember that you don't need to proclaim the truth. Why? Because it will come on its own. All you need to do is take care of slowing down your mind. How do you do that? Through self-exploration, observation, and witnessing. Whatever works for you, what happens when the mind slows down, the truth takes its place. When you hear the Buddhist term empty mind, it means that your mind is empty of relative terms and relative life, and it's full of Buddha. Your mind is filled with reality. Your mind is filled with truth in itself. Why does this happen? Because reality is your true nature, it's who you really are. Therefore, you don't have to do anything to make it happen. You just have to clear yourself from the road. When you remove yourself from the path, reality shines and everything becomes clear to you. You realize again that you are like a giant screen. The screen is a whole universe, and everything on this screen is an image projected onto it. They come and go, come and go, come and go, but you understand that you are the screen, and you are also the image. Only the image is not real, but the true self or the screen is real. Then you can say that this is the true self, and I am it, because you understand what the true self means. But just making empty verbal statements is absurd, it will not lead you anywhere. First, you must slow down your mind, and then everything will unexpectedly appear on its own, because everything already exists. Now you may say that this is difficult to do. If you think it's difficult, then you should start over and ask yourself, for whom is this difficult? Who finds this difficult? Who am I? Immediately return to this. Where does I come from? Where do the images come from? The image that I am sick, that I am poor, that I have problems. That something is wrong, and as for the question of why God allows evil in the world, the answer is simply this: it is a mass hypnosis. The world you are talking about does not exist. Examples will come to you naturally, such as the sky being blue. It seems blue, but in reality, there is no sky or blue. There is only space, and this space is consciousness. All planets, stars, worlds, people, insects, everything you can think of, it is all overlaid on space. You can call it the screen of life, and this space is you. You are not what you appear to be. This is what I mean when I say I am not the body, because you are actually the space. How can you prove it? If you were the size of an atom. And do you know how small an atom is, and if you found yourself somewhere in your body? If all your cells were equivalent to planets, you would see a lot of space between each cell, you would be in a completely different universe, and you would not have a body. That is why sometimes the universe is called God's body. All of this is relative, and space is absolute. The body is relative. And you are absolute. You are not the body, as you think. Just like the sky is not blue in the desert, when you see a mirage, you see water. But the closer you get, it turns into sand. There is no other, no enlightenment, no duality, and no non-duality. So who is this God? As long as you consider yourself a body, God exists, so do not fool yourself. Do not believe that you are not the body and God does not exist, because you will suffer. God really exists. As long as you consider yourself a body, it's better to surrender completely. Surrender your mind, let your will be done, not mine. This is the best thing you can do, to surrender everything, your entire life. This is a mirage. We look at each other and see people, but the truth is, I can say that there are no others here, there is only one, and I am it. Of course, when I say, I am, I speak of ubiquity. Every time I use the term I am not speaking of myself. I am speaking of ubiquity. Your true nature is ubiquity, and your body appears as it does because of relativity. Your body is formless space, your body is emptiness. So, you can say, I am not the body. But from this moment on, you will no longer make such statements, right? What you will do is calm your mind. And what will happen when it is calm is that everything will happen by itself. The truth will come from within you. You will not have to think about it, you will be aware of reality, and you will discover happiness without impurities, great joy, great peace, and love. Compassion will become immense within you. You will be kind to everything, insects, animals, humans, minerals, to everything that is alive, and you will show respect to everything. This feeling will come naturally. If you try to express it, it will not last long. That is why some of you always say to me, I feel great when I'm here at satsang, but as soon as I leave, I feel bad again. Why is that? It is precisely because you have not yet developed the realization of truth. When you develop the realization of truth, it will never leave you. It will not be like turning a light switch on and off. Once you have a true realization of truth, you will have it forever. You will have a sense of immortality, and you will simply know, not declare it. You will just know that you were never born, that you cannot die, and that you do not exist. You have no ego, everything just happens, everything manifests by itself. That's why I often tell you not to read too much. Because when you read too many books on Buddhism, Taoism, Armana, Nisargadatta, or anyone else in this world, it becomes complete confusion. Isn't it better to just sit quietly at home in silence and prevent the mind from thinking? This is the easiest way, the best way. It is the simplest way. If you don't believe me, try it. Try it for 1 week and see what happens. I would like you to experiment for 1 week. I don't want you to read any spiritual literature. What do you think? Can you do it without reading any spiritual literature? Just sit alone with yourself for as long as possible, and watch your mind do everything you can to slow down your mind. And then you will be surprised, you will laugh at yourself. Because when it becomes quiet, reality breaks in and you see that it is so simple, it is very simple. Why didn't I know about this all the time? I believed that by reading tome after tome, I would become enlightened. But it was so simple, I just needed to calm my mind. Do you think you can do it for just 1 day tomorrow? Be silent. Don't say a word to anyone. Try to spend this day alone with yourself if you can. But if you need to go to work, be quiet in your mind. Now, here's how you work with this. If you need to talk to your employees or your boss, talk to them, but don't let it get into your mind. Don't dwell on what you say, get rid of it immediately after you finish. If you are talking about work problems, solve these problems and then return to silence. In other words, don't carry it around, don't carry it within you. This reminded me of a story about 2 Buddhist monks. They went to town to buy some supplies while it was raining. They saw a beautiful young woman trying to cross the street. There was a huge puddle, so one of the monks took off his jacket and said to his friend, "Hold this." He ran across the street, picked up the woman, carried her across the flooded area and left her there. Then they went about their business, did their shopping, and returned to the ashram. That evening, while they were having dinner, the second monk looked at him and said, "Do you realize what you did today? You took a vow never to look at a woman, and yet you picked her up, carried her across the flood, and left her. How could you do that?" And the first monk said, "I left her this morning, and you're still carrying her." Aren't we the same? We always carry our grievances, our past with us. We never get rid of it. We carry our past mistakes, something that happened to us when we were children. We need to let go of everything. Remember this way to let go. Either ask yourself to whom it comes, and follow it, or watch your mind in action. And do nothing about it, but whatever you do, do it in every possible way. You can say something like, "God, I don't care what you do to me. I don't want anything from you, but make me yours and do with me as you please." When you surrender in this way, you will feel something. You will experience a peace that you have never felt before, and in this peace, you will realize whose body it is, whose mind it is, and what you truly are. Questions will come automatically when you surrender. Let me repeat again, when you learn to slow down your mind, reality itself will manifest, because reality is your true nature. Your true nature is emptiness, your true nature is pure awareness and pure intelligence. That's what you really are. You don't have to try to discover it, it's already within you. Just let go of everything else. They come by themselves, but if you are arrogant, aggressive, lacking in humility, and combative, and you go everywhere proclaiming the truth, they will turn against you. It's not for your benefit. Be careful, Realize what you are saying, and do not go around saying everywhere that there is only absolute reality. While you are angry with your neighbor, do not go around saying that there is only ultimate unity. While you are deceiving your friends, be truthful with yourself, and you will be truthful with those around you. You must be careful with this. Do not analyze what I am saying. When you start analyzing something I say, your mind will contradict it. The nature of the mind is to contradict, to make you feel uncomfortable, to make you believe that something somewhere is wrong. That is the nature of the mind. The mind always misleads you. You should not believe your mind. You should not trust your mind. Remember, that's what your mind is, a bunch of thoughts about the past and anxieties about the future. That's all there is to your mind. And in order to come to the truth, you must become naked before God. By being naked, I mean you have to let go of all your desires. I'm not saying that you have to be like Ramana Maharshi when he was still a child and went into the temple and took off all his clothes and stood naked in the street, and then it started raining and he shaved his head. I'm not talking about that. But what you have to do is empty your mind. You have to empty your mind of all thoughts. In reality, it's not that difficult. How to do it is simply by observing your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. Begin to be aware of every action you take from the moment you wake up in the morning. Be aware of what you are doing. If you wake up angry, catch yourself immediately. Refrain from carrying anger with you. Instead, ask yourself and follow who the anger comes to. Or simply observe how you get angry and don't say anything. Do what you have to do to transcend anger. Watch yourself as you get angry and you will realize that this was your nature up until this point.